Hello and welcome to World News, coming to you live from Warsaw, Poland. I'm Anna Kalczyńska. Good morning. The outgoing administration of U.S. President Joe Biden is reportedly preparing a $725 million arms package for Kyiv. According to the Reuters news agency, Biden's team plans to supply a range of weapons from U.S. stockpiles to help Ukraine defend against Russia's advances. The supplies will include drones, landmines, HIMARS, ammunition and Stinger rockets. One official told Reuters that formal notification to Congress about the defense package could come as soon as Monday. The package is being prepared via the Presidential Drawdown Authority that allows the state to draw from current weapon stocks to help allies in an emergency. And a senior White House official said yesterday that the outgoing administration wants Ukraine to lower the mobilization age for new conscripts. Currently, the age limit stands at 25 years of age, and the American officials want the Ukrainian counterparts to set it at 18. According to an unnamed source, it is a matter of pure math. The U.S. officials say that Ukraine's situation calls for more troops to continue the fight against the Russian army. As of now, Ukraine is not mobilizing or training enough soldiers to replace its battlefield losses. All the while, officials in Kyiv must remember to keep pace with the expanding Russian military. Ukrainians estimate that they need some 160,000 additional troops. However, their American allies believe the number to be much larger. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump tapped retired General Keith Kellogg for the newly created role of Ukraine envoy. Kellogg has reportedly already presented Trump with a plan to end the war in Ukraine. Kellogg's plan for ending the war reportedly involves freezing the battle lines at their prevailing locations and forcing both Kyiv and Moscow to negotiating table. The retired general served as the chief of staff for the White House National Security Council during Trump's 2017-2021 term and as a national security advisor to then Vice President Mike Pence. Ending the war in Ukraine was one of Trump's central campaign points, despite the lack of clarity of what his approach will be exactly. Kellogg, in his new position, will likely play a central role in attempting to resolve the conflict.
When tough calls had to be made. With historic investment.
Meanwhile, Ukraine has been hit by another large-scale Russian air assault as Moscow again targeted the country's energy infrastructure. Ukrainian news sources say that the explosions were heard in the cities of Kharkiv, Rivne, Lutsk, Kropyvnytsky and Odessa on Thursday morning. Ukraine's energy minister, Herman Halushenko, posted on Facebook that his country's power infrastructure was hit by what he called a massive strike. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said air defenses were operating in the city during Russia's nationwide infrastructure attacks. The country's air force had earlier warned residents about a missile threat against the capital. Creating the Baltic Sea policing mission, increasing defense spendings to level above NATO requirements, and continued support for Ukraine. These are the main takeaways from the Nordic-Baltic Summit in Harpsund, Sweden. The gathering, traditionally attended by heads of state from the so-called NB8 group, also saw an appearance from Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk.
Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland and Iceland are the Nordic countries. Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia are the Baltic states. And Poland is a country on the Baltic Sea trying to develop its defense up north. But Nordic and Baltic countries could benefit from this cooperation as well.
Nordic and Baltic countries are looking for a big, militarily strong country to be their kind of anchor. And so this is a good opportunity to put those two agendas together.
Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson said that Nordic and Baltic countries share not only the same threat, Russia, but also the approach of tackling it.
And we all agree to prioritize defense spendings. Adding money beyond NATO's 2% default will be needed.
One of the means of strengthening the country's defense in the region could be creating the Baltic Sea policing mission. Such a step was proposed by Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk.
We share the assessment of the security situation, including concern for critical infrastructure and strategic resources along the Baltic Sea. We need new tools and ambitious means to counter threats.
A concept of unified maritime security strategy for the Baltic Sea has been around for some time, but was partially hindered by Sweden and Finland not being a part of NATO.
And since we got Sweden and Finland in NATO now, I think we are in the best shape, in the best situation, and actually the moment is right for us.
And the moment for such actions is timely, as shown by the incidents like the suspected sabotage of undersea cables in the Baltic Sea.
Search and rescue operations were underway throughout the night in Denmark after a silo collapse at a biogas plant. The incident claimed the lives of 2 Romanian workers and 6 more people were injured. The case is now under investigation by the Danish Labour Inspection. The incident took place on Tuesday evening with the biogas plant in the middle construction work. The collapse is mostly likely linked to roofing work that was being done at the same time. The injured men include 2 Romanians, 3 Poles and 1 Belgian. 1 person is still missing. The prompted Danish authorities to employ special drone brigades in search and rescue operations. As stated by Christian Rasmussen from the local police, rescue efforts have been very difficult due to large amounts of concrete and iron present at the site of the collapse. And in Poland, Russian diplomats have started removing property from the consulate building in Poznań in western country. This follows Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski's decision to close the office. In October, Polish Foreign Minister announced the General Consulate of Russia in Poznań will have its permission to operate rescinded. The reason behind the move included Russia's invasion of Ukraine and its hybrid war against the West, including Poland. Sikorski said that Russian services could be linked to sabotage attempts in Poland and allied countries. According to Polish authorities, Russian diplomats must leave the country by November the 30th. Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico says he will attend World War II commemorations in Moscow next May after accepting an invitation from Russian President Vladimir Putin. Fico posted on Facebook that he had responded to the unofficial invitation and he has previously spoken about wanting to attend events in Moscow next year. Separately, the Slovakian government office said on Wednesday that Fico had spoken by telephone with US President-elect Donald Trump. The conversation largely focused on the war in Ukraine, which shares a border with Slovakia. After taking office more than a year ago, Fico's leftist nationalist government immediately halted military supplies to Kyiv while allowing commercial sales to continue. Ursula von der Leyen's team of commissioners was approved by the European Parliament on Wednesday. Among the newly appointed college is Polish Piotr Serafin, who will become European Commissioner for Budget and Administration.
Vote is closed. And it is adopted. Congratulations.
With 370 in favour, 282 against and 36 abstained, such was the vote count for Ursula von der Leyen's team of commissioners. According to Alberto Alemano, such a minimal number of votes in favour is due to the fact that the incoming commission has been playing a dual game.
On the one hand, it has been reassured the mainstream political parties like the Socialist and Democrat and the Liberals that it would be business as usual, while on the other hand, already looking towards the right of the European Popular Party.
In her opening speech, von der Leyen said that her new commission will focus on 3 main aspects.
First, closing the innovation gap with the United States and China. Second, a joint plan for decarbonization and competitiveness. And third, increasing security and reducing dependencies.
The Commission is said to be in a tight spot, especially when it comes to meeting the objectives of European Green Deal, while trying to regain European competitiveness on the global market.
This Commission has been quite ambiguous on its green ambitions. We all know that the von der Leyen major legacy, the Green Deal, has been interrupted approximately 6 months ago when the farmers really occupied the streets in Brussels.
And another bone of contention could be defense spendings, a task that will be partially assigned to Piotr Serafin, newly appointed Commissioner for Budget and Administration.
Today's question for the Member States is this: whether by spending part of the funds on defense jointly, through the European budget, or through other tools that could be created at the European level, will we achieve greater efficiency?
Once the new EU Commission is elected by the Parliament, it will then be formally appointed by the European Council. Once this happens, the 5-year term of the new European Commission should start on December 1st, 2024.
Romanians nationwide took to the streets on Wednesday for the third day in a row, protesting the results of the first round of the country's presidential election. Demonstrators say they are worried about the anti-EU and anti-NATO messages expressed by Călin Georgescu. In Bucharest, more than 2,000 people came out to Victory Square, the vast majority of them young. In Timișoara, several hundred returned to Opera Square for another night of protests. Placards held by demonstrators read, "We are the voice of those who are no longer here," and "Anti-fascist alert." Meanwhile, Cluj-Napoca saw some 1,000 students gather in a protest organized by the organization Students for Democracy. The protest was held under the slogan "Cluj United, Manifesto for Democracy, and Love of Country is not legionary." The Prime Minister of Kosovo has unveiled plans to create an ammunition production factory and a facility focused on drone development. The country's defense minister commented on the news, saying Kosovo has cooperated with Turkey on the matter.
We will establish the Interministerial Commission in order to evaluate and start the procedures and negotiations regarding the opening of the factory for the production of ammunition and for the drone design facility in the Republic of Kosovo. We are entering a new era for defense and security infrastructure, focusing on stability of ammunition production. The Commission will investigate and negotiate regarding the factory. We have received a feasibility report from Turkey. We are in the finalization phase of this project.
And that's it for this edition of World News, but please stay tuned to TVP World as World Talk comes next.